Hey, Joe Soto here, and now let's talk about 3 different email templates, email and DM templates that you can use. The reason why I put them both together is while you may not use the entire template for your DMs, in the handout I provide in this lesson, I'll give you the email templates and the DM templates, but the 3 strategies that you're going to use for the 3 templates are the same. Now, in a direct message, chances are your message will be a little shorter. Depending on if you're messaging somebody on Instagram or LinkedIn or on Facebook, typically it's going to be a little bit shorter than you might put in an email. But all in all, even in an email, you want to keep your emails really tight, short, and succinct if you can. And the reason is decision makers, entrepreneurs, CEOs, business owners, they don't have a lot of time to read long, drawn-out emails, especially if they think you're trying to sell them anything at all. So you have to kind of get right to the point, and you have to capture their attention and be real punchy with your copy and with what you're asking them to do, which is essentially open up their calendar for you to have an appointment with them. And this is where I challenge people to study copywriting and to study advertising copy. And the reason why is your emails really are using and leveraging advertising principles. For example, your subject line and your headlines have to grab someone's attention. And that's what the purpose of these 3 different templates do, and the 3 concepts behind each of them. So first of all, the easiest way to email someone is if they've been referred to you. So how do you get a referral, right? Well, let's say you're at a networking event, or you have a friend of yours, and you just simply ask somebody, or you're telling them maybe a little bit about your business, and they're sharing about their business. One of the best ways to get a referral is by asking what I call the referral question. The referral question is you ask somebody, you say, well, based on what you kind of know about our business and what we do as an e-commerce agency, who do you think we should be talking to? Now, I may also say, who else do you think I should be talking to? So something along the lines of who should I be talking to? It's interesting when you ask people that question is that they kind of disarm themselves, because now they feel like, okay, you're not pitching me who you're talking to at a networking event, you're asking me who I should be talking to. And now it's funny because they'll think of someone. They'll go, you know what, I know John who sells physical products, and he goes to trade shows and he does flea markets, or maybe John has a product-based business and he ships these to different distributors around the country, but he doesn't really have an online store. You should be talking to him. So you share somebody about your business at one of these networking events, you just ask them, who should I be talking to? Jim, based on what you kind of know from what I just shared with you, who do you think I should be talking to? And they'll tell you. Now, you can then ask the follow-up question, which is, would you mind sending them an introduction or an email introduction, or sending them an email letting them know that I might be reaching out to them? And they may or may not. And whether they do or not, the nice part about that is if you call the business and ask for the person, you can now say, I was referred to you by Jim over at the cocktail hour event that we had the other evening, and he said that I should be talking to you. If you email them, you can do the exact same thing, and that's the concept behind number 1, which we call it the referred by email template, which means you lead with that in your subject line, referred by Jim Smith, and that's all it says in your subject line. That's going to get somebody's attention, especially if they know Jim. Okay. Or you could say, referred by your friend Jim Smith. You can ask the person you're talking to, how close are you? Referred by Mary Smith. Now, the good news is, it doesn't matter if they know that person well or not. You just simply use this in the headline, and it grabs their attention, so your email gets open. The subject line of your email, and by the way, I'm giving you the templates to these in the handout, but I want you to understand the psychology behind these email templates, okay? The psychology behind the referred to is it gets somebody to open your email. And that's the number 1 challenge people have, is how do I get them to open my email if I do get it delivered to them? So it's one thing to say, I can't find the email address. It's another thing to say, how do I get them to open it? Well, your subject line is your headline. And the purpose of the headline and copy, like on a sales page, is to get them to read the rest of the page. The purpose of a subject line in an email is to get somebody to read your email, right? It's like saying the purpose of an ad on Facebook is to get them to click the ad. It's not to sell them on a product or to sell them on an idea. It's to get them to click the ad. That's it. Your goal of your subject line to your email templates is to get somebody to open the email. That's all the subject line is going to do. So you're going to put in your subject line, referred by, and you put the acquaintance or the common person you know, you put their full name. So referred by Jim Richards, okay? And that's it. That'll get them to open the email. And then inside the email, you lead with that. Jim Richards recommended that I reach out to you, and he mentioned that you guys have some really cool things going on in your business and that you have a product that people rave about, and thought you'd be interested in seeing a demonstration of how we take physical products that you're used to selling in stores through distribution channels, and we put them online to create an additional serious revenue stream in your business. Would you like to see a demo? And you schedule a demo with them. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about what else you could offer them, not just a demo, but what you could offer a business owner inside of the email in the upcoming lessons. Don't worry too much about how to fill in the blank yet of these templates, because in the next lesson that we get into which is, what do I offer? What do I offer to get the appointment? Okay, what's my teaser offer to get my foot in the door? Okay, because setting the appointment through an email or through the phone, it can be a little tricky if you don't have a strategy or some sort of strategic way of approaching that, and I'm going to help you through that. So that's the first one, referred by. The second template is called the common acquaintance template. Okay, let's say that you don't know somebody that can refer you, but you know that you both have a similar acquaintance or a common friend. That's easy because you can go into LinkedIn, see who you're connected to, and almost everybody's connected to somebody in a roundabout way on LinkedIn. And if not, you need to go into their LinkedIn connections and connect with some of their LinkedIn contacts. And while sometimes that can be a big guessing game whether or not they know those LinkedIn acquaintances very well or not, it still has a lot of power. And it works almost as strong as the referral, okay? Especially if they do recognize and know the person that is the acquaintance pretty well, okay? So the subject line would say, came across, your company, say their company, so came across XYZ products through Jim Richards, okay? And now, they don't have to know right away, because they don't need to know in the subject line how you know Jim. They might be curious that, did Jim refer you? Or they may be thinking, geez, I don't remember who Jim Richards is. You don't care, because you just need them to open the email. And that's the purpose of the subject line. Now, when they open up the subject line, you can then say, I was browsing around on LinkedIn and I saw we had a mutual connection in Jim Richards. Or you can say, I was on Facebook and I see we have some mutual friends, and one of them is Jim Richards, who I know quite well. Or maybe, we said we're both connected to the same person, right? And then you kind of explain that connection. Now, obviously, the more they're aware or they know that connection, the better. But this is very effective because it's a way of getting them to open the email, and now you've got them inside your email, and your job now is to get them to keep reading. So you mention real quick the connection and how you know how you're both connected, and you go right into a compliment about their business, and then an offer to do a demo or one of the other things I'm going to teach you to do in the upcoming lesson, so you can fill in the blanks of that email. Because the purpose of that email then is to get them to reply to you and or book time in your calendar. Okay. The third one, is called the congratulations email template. This is where you might see something mentioned about a business in the news, or you see them in the media. Now, some of you may be saying, well, geez, do I just wait around and somebody's mentioned in the media? No. You can go into Google News and do a search in Google that can find the most recent stories about a local or an area company or business that you're prospecting, or a national business that you're prospecting that doesn't have an e-commerce store for their physical products yet. You can go on there and find what type of media attention they're getting, the latest articles or the last thing written about them, and you can find something to congratulate them on. Okay. Now you might go to their website and see that they were chosen as best workplace to work out of the year for Loudoun County, Virginia, or something, and you go, wow, congratulations on being nominated as best place to work for in Loudoun County. Okay. And your subject line, by the way, what's the purpose of the subject line? To get them to open the email. So you just simply say, congratulations on whatever it is, okay? And then ideally their name. So you say, let's say the name is Mary Smith. You say, congratulations on your nomination for in Loudoun County, Mary Smith. Or congratulations, Mary, on your nomination for Loudoun County's workplace. You just put that in the subject line. People love to see who's congratulating them or noticing their business. And maybe it's an ego thing, maybe it's just they're just really interested to see who it is that's congratulating them, but it's going to get them to open the email, and that's the goal of that subject line. It's advertising 101. The subject line is your headline, right? And then you can say, I know I saw this in the news, or I saw this in the local paper, or I saw you online that you had won this, or that you were nominated to this. Hope, it sounds like you guys are doing some really great things. You congratulate them, and you compliment them and their team, and then you move on to that you'd love to show them a demo of how they can leverage that and be able to do some really exciting things online in the new year or in the upcoming year or for the rest of the year or whatever it is. And we'll talk, again, I'm giving you the templates in this lesson, but I'm going to give you the stuff to fill it in the next lessons where we talk about what do you really offer that can make them go, yeah, I want to book some time with this person. Because it's not just about asking for the appointment. It's about giving them incentive to where they can't resist booking time with you and giving you an appointment. That's the key to this. Now, before we stop this lesson, I do want to add this caveat. There are different rules in every country around cold emailing and around the spam laws, okay? In the US, you want to have, if you're going to cold email someone, you want to make sure that you have a way for them to reply and say they don't want to receive emails from you, and I would typically ask that you would put that in the PS. So you could put in the PS, if this isn't for you, just reply that you don't want to hear from me again, or no thank you, and you can give them kind of a way to give out. Also, if you are going to cold email, always put a signature line, and make sure you have all your company information, like your phone number, your address, and URL, and all that good stuff in the signature line. That stuff's required, and you're going to be playing it safe. Now, I'm not an attorney, so I'm going to actually suggest that you consult with an attorney or go online and do your research on the spam laws. In some countries, you can't email at all cold. And in other countries like Canada, you have to have permission, and it has to be like written permission before you can send somebody an email follow-up. And you can do that by calling and getting permission from perhaps an admin or somebody else who says, yes, you can email them, and then send them the information along. And you can just call and ask for the permission, and they'll give it to you, and you can just ask if they can quickly send you an email with that permission. There's all these different things you have to do. Every country's different, so find out what's legal in your country. But it's perfectly okay, particularly in the US, to email somebody up front and first, give them. Always make sure you give people a way to respond, to opt out. It doesn't have to be through an email program. It would just be so simple email you're sending, but honor that if they send you a request to not send them an email again. So that's the last part about it. It's getting exciting now, and I know we're going to start getting into what do you put in these emails, what do we offer, and how do we incentivize people to make an appointment, to book on our calendar, so that way you can offer them an e-commerce solution for their business.